All right, y'all, give a thumbnail. Y'all see the title, and today, yes, we got Kaido. Is it Kaido? Kaido's versus One Punch Man Monsters isn't close. I don't know what's gonna happen. I feel like he probably get through some, but I think he gonna stop at Orochi, bro. I think he probably stop at Orochi. Orochi is a genius, bro, and he can copy whatever old buddy do, man. So I feel like he might stop at a hard stop at Orochi and old girl and Orochi they form. I think he gonna make it past that. And what he probably stop at. I hate to say this, but I do think he gonna I do think Kaido's is gonna go past old buddy too. Well, let's just see, bro. Let's see. But I'm pretty sure he ain't getting past Orochi.
Strongest creature in the One Piece world versus the mightiest monsters the One Punch Man verse has to offer. A matchup I've always wanted to explore, being a huge fan of both series. Always wondered what happens when the King of Beasts faces creatures unlike anything he's ever seen.
Oh wait, he gonna get the whole One Punch Man monsters?
I believe he would mistake them for Devil Fruit users, specifically Zoan types, makes him eager to fight or even recruit the strongest among them. So which monsters could he defeat and where would he finally meet his match? We'll make sure to break down Kaido's stats, abilities, strengths and weaknesses to see how he fares against the entire One Punch Man verse. But before we dive in, make sure to smash the subscribe button and the notification bell for more of these One Punch Man videos. Thank you. If it's one-on-one, always bet on Kaido. This statement, in my opinion, held true for displaying the strength to literally fight everybody in Wano. It's like,
hey, she's what her name, Big Mama. She I don't know what it is, but she scared me, bro. Like she used to scare me, bro. I don't know what it is, but it's like I guess her drawing,
in my opinion,
bro. Like I don't know, but bro, this is kind of like scary. It's so scary. Yo, every time I see her character, bro, she be like, oh my God, bro. I'm like, God, I can't wait till they defeat her, bro. I'm like, oh, she's just too OP.
Held true for displaying the strength to literally fight everybody in Wano. It's like an arcade fighting game playing on survival mode where you try to eliminate the full roster without losing. And even after getting defeated, he definitely proved why he is called the strongest creature in the world. Zoro, Kid, Killer, Law, Luffy, the Scabbers, and Yamato all fought against him consecutively and simultaneously and still lost. All of this while Kaido was carrying Onigashima all by himself and literally required a godly transformation that literally resets the health bar to completely get rid of him. I feel like not enough justice is given to this absolute beast since, correct me if I'm wrong, he's never been beaten in a straight up one-on-one battle. He's simply a force that no One Piece character can face and not suffer major consequences. However, this was said about Sukuna, who has accomplished a similar feat in his own verse in my previous video and still lost miserably to the One Punch Man verse. So when it comes to these cross matchups, it's not really about what you accomplish, but rather about how strong your verse is. Brings us to this important.
Oh, bro lost to Toon Force. He lost to Toon Force.
Question: how strong is Kaido or the One Piece verse in general? So let's first start with the infamous One Piece meta of characters being large planetary due to Whitebeard being stated to be capable of destroying the world, with the majority saying that the One Piece planet, based on multiple statements, should be as large as a planet like Jupiter. Again, nothing really proves it's not hyperbole or that he can destroy the planet in one go. Clearly requires time paired with possessing a devil fruit that can specifically destabilize or imbalance the entire planet. So strictly speaking, planetary One Piece is pretty shaky and isn't reliable for a general sense of scaling. With that being said, to understand how strong Kaido is, you'd need to be aware of how strong Luffy was during most of their fights. Let's start with beginning of Wano Gear 4 Luffy, who should at least be country level for scaling above Zoro slicing Pika in Dressrosa. The same Luffy, after multiple attempts, couldn't even hurt Kaido and was completely blitzed and one-shotted by Thunder Bagua. This would mean that base Kaido should at least be 8 times stronger than Luffy, allowing him to wield power relative to that of 138 teratons of TNT, making him large country level in terms of attack potency. This is obviously without accounting for Conqueror's Haki Infusion Amp that considerably raises his physical strikes much higher. Hybrid Kaido, on the other hand, is stated to have much higher physical abilities in the Viver card, allowing him to exert 36 petatons of TNT, making him multi-continental level in terms of attack potency. Definitely scales above Momonosuke pulling up Onigashima and relatively above Soul Amped Big Mom, which leaves us with Dragon Form Kaido, who is stated to possess more speed and power compared to base Kaido, allowing him to exert mountain level of destructiveness with each Blast Breath attack. Having this crazy last resort destructive attack called Dragon Rising Flame Bagua that could contend with Luffy's Bajrang gun that exerted 12 exatons of TNT, making it multi-continental plus in terms of attack potency, which means that base Kaido should be large country to continental, hybrid Kaido is definitely multi-continental, and Dragon Kaido with his last attack should be multi-continental plus. Now when it comes to speed, post-time Luffy dodged Pacifista's lasers and considered them very slow, and according to Drake, these lasers has the same properties as Kizaru's ability that can literally shoot light, so anybody that has a feat of dodging or reacting to them is automatically capped between relativistic to light speed levels. However, there is a major caveat regarding this logic. Dr. Vegapunk clearly stated that he absolutely cannot recreate Logia's powers, which ultimately means that Drake's statement is still very questionable, but in its defense, it could still be that he just recreated his own lasers studying Kizaru's abilities, or possibly can maybe just copy singular aspects from Logia's but not the whole power itself. But nonetheless, even after Luffy called them slow, he still stated that Kaido is too fast even after using his future sight, which means that Kaido is definitely faster than light, scaling him to calcs such as Sanji point blank dodging Queen's lasers and Luffy contending with Kizaru in Egghead. Now, Kaido is actually what you call an all-rounded fighter in fiction, a combatant with crazy levels of durability, insane destructive capabilities, outstanding levels of speed.
Yeah, his durability is crazy. I like his durability, bro. He can take some hits and shit.
And massive wisdom and experience. And when it comes to his overall abilities, he can generate fire blast, lightning attacks, and creates tornadoes that releases several sharp blades of wind in all directions, not to mention his proficiency in using all types of haki. And with that being said, how would he deal with the One Punch Man monsters?
Let's see.
The One Punch Man manga does a remarkably good job of establishing clear power distinctions between monsters. Threat levels are well defined and respected by the Hero Association, so much so that even monsters take pride in being placed in higher categories. And unlike the hero rankings where strength can be ambiguous, monster classifications are far more rigid and clear in most cases. A demon level monster cannot contend with a dragon level threats, with rare exceptions like Homeless Emperor, who remains vulnerable if caught off guard, or Beefcake, who was misclassified as demon level, a discrepancy later clarified by the authors. But nonetheless, as mentioned in my previous videos, it's clearly known that the cities in One Punch Man are vastly larger than real-world cities, which has led to a common misconception in the community, making many assume that a demon level monster like the Deep Sea King or Bug God must possess island or country level destructive powers simply because of their threat classification. However, as I said time and time again, this is actually a misinterpretation, since the rankings don't strictly measure raw destructive capabilities, but rather the overall danger a monster poses to a city's survival. Monsters threaten cities in various ways, some through sheer destruction, others through abilities, speed, or lethality. For example, a waking cockroach could decimate a city's population in minutes due to his insane speed, and someone like Genos, who has firepower capable of destroying him, couldn't land a single attack, while Cosmic Fear Garou poses a god-level threat by emitting extinction-level radiation, which means the idea that a monster must be capable of physically annihilating an entire city to qualify for a certain tier is for now entirely baseless. Now, when saying One Punch Man monsters in the title, we simply mean demons and dragons, since they make up the majority of notable threats in the series. A newer threat level has been revealed lately by the name of dragon or higher that would actually allow us to have a more detailed and organized classification. Alright, so generally speaking, demon level monsters such as the Deep Sea King should sit at town to city level in attack potency and durability. This is obviously after disregarding Murata's tweet about Genos destroying a mountain early in the series, a feat that remains an outlier since no comparable character has managed to replicate it. However, we know for a fact that the Deep Sea King scales above early Puri Puri Prisoner and tanked attacks from Genos, whose firepower has been calced at large town to city level. Stronger threats like Bug God, G5, etc. should far surpass him. As for dragon level monsters, some like
oh man, I forgot.
G5, etc. should far surpass him. As for dragon,
I say I forget my little cat friend. I forget his name, but I'm pretty sure Kaido is again going through him, beat what that ugly fur. I can't say it right, bro. Right now, don't know about Rover though, bro. Don't know. I don't know.
level monsters, some like Homeless Emperor can spam infinite attacks with his energy projections calculated between 2.4 to 4.8 gigatons of TNT, making him mountain to island level in terms of destructiveness. Most strong cadres should at least scale to his basic projectiles, as others like Carnage Kabuto occupies a similar tier. However, these monsters completely pale in comparison to the dragons or higher threat level such as Orochi, Platinum S, Psycho Orochi,
Psycho Orochi,
Centipede, Evil Ocean Water, and the Divine Beings. For instance, Orochi's Gaia Cannon was capped at 5,000 exatons of TNT, which makes it small planet level. This is still considered weaker than Psycho Orochi, who can casually exert an attack that can split a continent. Platinum S's power, on the other hand, places him on a slightly lower tier, with his speed being his ultimate specialty. Sage, Ocean, Gimbu, and Byakko narratively are above all of them for being pawns sent by God to deal with top tier threats in the entire verse, which means that dragon level monsters generally range from mountain to planetary levels in destructive capacity, attack potency, and durability. Now, when it comes to speed, demon level monsters like the Deep Sea King operate at massively hypersonic speeds at the very least. This is when disregarding databook statements pointing out that Lightning Max and Lightning Genji has attacks that rivals the speed of lightning. You also have Awakened Cockroach, also another demon level monster, claiming faster than light reaction time via precognition. There's also another line of scaling that people tend to be very contentious about, which is Genos and Atomic Samurai reacting to and dodging lasers. Even though this is confirmed to have the properties of light, I get why not a lot of people jump the wagon on these particular matters. However, we have no choice but to include this since the One Piece meta is exactly the same as this. Dragon level monsters, however, combat-wise are shown to being much faster, where in One Punch Man the more powerful you are, the faster you should be, which means most dragon level monsters sit at relativistic to faster than light speeds, with high tier monsters like Platinum operating at much higher levels. With all of this being said, how would Kaido deal with One Punch Man's monsters? Now, Kaido's strength is nothing short of crazy even when measured against the One Punch Man verse. His relentless drive to find a worthy opponent and achieve a glorious death actually mirrors that of Boros, the dominator of the universe, one of One Punch Man's most formidable and respected beings. And like Boros, Kaido certainly craves a true battle, something he'd definitely encounter in the One Punch Man verse. He'd certainly find monsters capable of matching him, overwhelming him, or even toying with him. So let's first be clear and say that no demon level threat, low or high, stands a chance against Kaido. City level destruction, which is common among demon tier monsters, is sadly unimpressive against Kaido, let alone the broader One Piece verse.
He eat those for breakfast.
And even if we entertain outliers like the Deep Sea King being mountain level based on Murata's contested statement, it still wouldn't cut it against Kaido. Kaido casually replicates feats that Genos vaguely achieved based on Murata, with Dragon Blast stated to be incapable of destroying mountains. So demon level monsters would definitely not be able to even scratch Kaido in any of his states, which ultimately means to challenge an actual dragon, you'd need to be at least a dragon level threat. So hear me out, even when facing these crazy strong monsters, base Kaido still vastly outclasses most of them in the strength department. Monsters like Homeless Emperor, Gums, Neon, or Fury Ugly stand no chance in—
Yeah, see that what I'm saying? Like yeah, though I said I know Gum don't stand no chance, bro. Like, yeah, it's just crazy.
one-on-one battle. And even if we're being completely generous, placing them at island level in terms of attack potency and destructiveness, Kaido in base still one-shotted a country level combatant. Goketsu is actually maybe the only dragon level monster who could reasonably contend with base Kaido, given his scaling above the meteor that threatened to annihilate a country-sized city. Janos, who witnessed Saitama effortlessly destroy that meteor, still regarded Goketsu as superior, implying country level attack potency or even above. This is further supported by Goketsu's cloud-splitting feat calculated at country-level energy output, which means when it comes to dragon-level monsters, Goketsu might be the only one who can contend with base Kaido. However, dragon or higher threats operate on an entirely different plane. These are certainly beings who not only rivals Kaido's base form, but could certainly overpower even his strongest stage. You can actually check one of my recent videos that I made where I ranked these types of monsters from weakest to strongest, and maybe that can give you an idea of why Kaido, while climbing the ladder, would be completely cooked in the process. So listen, make no mistakes, Kaido is extremely strong, and with his variety of abilities and skills, he can certainly hold his own against even these monsters for a brief time, and possibly even stalemate Platinum S, who is considered the weakest on this list. But at the end of the day, all of these monsters either have comparable strength levels casually to Kaido's strongest state or straight up surpass him. You see, Orochi with his Gaia Cannon can absorb energy relative to that of 5,000 exatons of TNT, which makes him small planetary. And on a narrative standpoint, he should still be weaker than both Sage and Evil Ocean Water. I even made a video discussing why Evil Ocean Water can actually defeat every One Piece Devil Fruit user for simply being their counter weakness. And Evil Ocean Water, same with other monsters, are still weak in comparison to Psycho Orochi, Monster Form Garu, Lord Boros, Gimbu, Byaku, and Kirin. These types of monsters actually sit at the top of dragons or higher. So surely Kaido can deal some damage with Dragon Rising Flame Bagua that rivaled Luffy's attack, generating 12 exatons of TNT, but what's that against the Gaia Cannon that can exert 5,000 exatons of TNT, Psycho Orochi's casual continental beams that exert 18 exatons of TNT, and Boros' collapsing Star Roaring Cannon that can literally destroy the whole planet. Seeing these stats, you'd get the idea that Kaido, base, hybrid, or dragon form have little to no chance to defeat these dragon or higher level monsters. He either gets stomped, necked by his actual weakness, or end up in a stalemate against a superior speedster. But losing only against the strongest monsters displayed on screen in One Punch Man is actually very impressive. Unlike a lot of characters that always stops at the likes of Homeless Emperor or even demon level monsters, Kaido would in fact be considered as an overpowered monster even within the One Punch Man verse. However, the King of Beasts was sadly lose to the King of Monsters Orochi via the Gaia Cannon, would certainly be necked by Evil Ocean Water, who was able to hurt Garu, who should be multi-continental, and gets sent to the moon by Boros if he actually can take a kick on that level, which means Kaido can defeat all demons, destroy all dragons, and stop at dragon or higher monsters. Thank you so much for watching this video, and you can always check calcs that I—
There you go, ladies and gentlemen. Yo, old buddy good now. I like his durability and stuff, man. Like I said, I feel like he'll get through and he'll stop at like Rochi and all that. So yeah, I predicted it. Yeah, I'm kind of accurate, bro. But you already know. Link up in the description if you got a good stuff, man. I'm out. Y'all be safe.